and non-emergency dispatch. Vineland Police Operator 7600.
Yeah, hello?
Oh, how you doing, ma'am? Can I help you?
Yeah, you know what? You dispatchers keep switching from one dispatcher to another. Am I speaking to the other Santiago?
I'm the only one that's in here, ma'am.
Yeah, there was two different tones of voices, and the other one is deeper, and the other one is not as deep. So they're two different tones. Two different tones. So you guys keep doing that every time.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but how can I help you?
So I mean, I don't know what these games are. This is like disturbing, you know, and whatever. I need to speak to an officer, make a complaint about harassment and being harassed also by 3 officers last night.
Okay, so you need internal affairs, then, correct?
No, I need to make my official complaint first for my husband being harassed.
Okay, let me transfer you to the front desk. Hold on. Police front desk, Bonsall.
Yeah, this is Teresa Lockwood Surveys. So I need to make a complaint about my husband being harassed in the hospital yesterday.
Okay.
And I was refused to make a complaint last night as I just got harassed last night by 3 officers. So I have a right to make a complaint.
Well, we can't take a third-party complaint, but your husband's welcome to call and make a complaint.
Well, actually, you can, and it's against the law to sit there and say people can't make a complaint in regards to making a complaint. Like if I saw somebody robbing somebody else, yes, I can make a complaint.
Right, you can let us know.
So you're manipulating and playing games with the law.
Him being the victim of this, he'd have to contact us.
First of all, actually, we both are the victim. And I am the victim as well as my husband, okay? So, the thing is, it's just that,
You failed to mention that at first. Go ahead.
Okay, well, either way, it doesn't really matter. My husband is well, actually, I'm the main target, but he's the main direct victim. So, I mean, a Huntsberger went into the hospital to harass my husband and slander me again, and basically provoking nurses to basically believe these lies or whatever, slandering me, and basically provoking them to mistreat me when I'm basically an innocent party here. And while she's sitting there slandering me to my husband, to harass both me and my husband, to sit there and cover up her crime, all people involved crimes being committed against me and my husband. So, and my husband, even though he's trying very hard to actually call people, it's very, very hard for him to call anyone. He cannot see the phone. He has left side neglect. Okay, and you can look that up online. What that is basically caused by severe brain injury for having a stroke. And he can't even walk, so he's paralyzed all the way on the left side.
Okay.
So the thing is, he can't see things correctly. Left side, I'll just summarize this real quick. The left side neglect is where your left side is neglect from the stroke, and everything, your vision is pushed all the way to one side. So it's not that he's just blinded in one side and can't see like half of his vision. It's just that everything is pushed to the right side. Like, for example, this is actually online. It's the simplest example to use is like you see in a clock, like 1 through 12 is pushed all the way in between 1 through 6 on the clock. So that's basically the main simplest example that they give online or whatever. So they don't directly see things directly lined up. Okay? So it's very difficult for him to, he called his lawyer yesterday, which I warned him about. I said, he's just going to get abused again, but he's trying to get things done. And I'm like, she's not even in your favor. She's slandering us in court, and she's basically coming in and lying to you about things that he knows is not true. He even told her that, like he said, speak to my wife. And the thing is that, excuse me, I was left on the phone while she showed up, and she was in there just lying to him and manipulating him and blaming me when I'm not basically the one who did any wrong or anything. So my husband was used and targeted because the target was actually me, to target me to cover up police crime. So they're exploiting my husband and then harassing him and doing all these things while he's in a severe condition, and police are using this corrupt Huntsberger to basically this bogus lawyer that's basically abusing him in the hospital. So, and harassing him while he's in a serious condition. So, I mean, it's really, really bad. I mean, he actually has to use a catheter and, like, you know, briefs or whatever and things like that, and it's very serious. So, I mean, he hallucinates and everything. So, I mean, he believes he's in stores. He believes he's in his old house. He believes, like, all these things or whatever. But he can make decisions and have a coherent conversation. It's just that because of the brain damage or brain injury, his brain is used differently. So he projects, like, it actually even happens in people who are partially blind, that they will project, like, an image to fill that space and that void that is not there. You know, that they're not able to see, like, on that side. So this is what happens and what the brain does. So the thing is that hello?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're still there. So the thing is like they've been harassing him. I made a number of calls, and police have refused my complaints and or falsified information in the report. So the thing is this woman went in there, and I mean, she's lying about everything, and, like, she's even harassing and slandering me in court to cover up what they did to my husband, because they basically made statements, like, and trying to cover it up, sitting there saying that we have all these guns in my house or whatever. I never even had a gun in my house ever, and I never even touched a gun in my entire life. Except for I'm repeating myself, so I don't know. I feel like I have to I gotta stop saying that. People reconform my brain to sit there and start saying feel, and I don't use feel for a word of thought or whatever. And I gotta correct that. That's brainwashing by police, by the way. I don't appreciate it, but I don't misuse the word feel like these other people do usually. So anyway, so the thing is that so like, she's in there, like, lying to him about all kinds of stuff or whatever. Like I said, like, look, I was listening to the conversation, and I recorded it, by the way. I recorded it when she came in, when I was on the phone with her. With my husband or whatever. And I recorded it. So the thing is, it's the same manipulation tactic, and this woman is going to court, like, echoing my words that I've said to police, so they can act like she knows or has knowledge about things. Why it's my knowledge that, like, they're using, that she's being told. Okay? And that's police doing that. And police are also using her in court and basically on the phone to sit there and harass me and use my words and flip things backwards. To use her to harass me on the phone as she's harassed me on the phone. And yes, I went over there, like, off on her when I called her on the phone, like, in the beginning or whatever, and told her about her lying about me in court or whatever and falsifying information and slandering my character, which is police are doing. She basically said, oh, you're not going to deter me or whatever, which is my statement against basically and flipping things backwards when I was only explaining to her basically law principles or whatever to prove that she's lying or whatever. And people sitting there trying to sit there and use her to flip it backwards on me, which is police is constantly doing this, just like they use your chaplains to do the same thing. Lying to everybody. This is an obsessive, psychopathic, like, stalker person among your police or whatever that's been doing this to me for years. So, and now they're going to sit there and so psychopathic. They just sit there and kidnap my husband and put him in the hospital, making up all kinds of lies and trying to have me locked up for nothing that I did wrong, because he apologized to me, apologized to me for abusing me or whatever, which he never ever did before. So the thing is, it's just that, you know, they're exploiting the situation and making sure that he doesn't say anything. And while they're trying to insert false ideas into his head using Huntsberger, while he's sitting there, have severe brain injury, to sit there and try to cover it up. And this is what police did to my children, by the way. And the thing is, it's really disturbing. And so the thing is, it's just that police are colluding with judges and prosecutors, having judges to sit there slander me in court or whatever to cover up crimes, and echoing things, words of police and their chaplains or whatever, and slandering me with the same slander that they've used from the, in quote, Faith Bible Church, who is not of faith or biblical or whatever, and doing all these things. And I mean, this is like repulsive. And I mean, I had PTSD, so I'm kind of being triggered by all you people like doing this, and just bringing it back to basically what you people did to my children, and then sitting here using somebody who's severely brain damaged. And it's inhumane. And yeah, so, okay, I'm not justifying any wrong he did, but he apologized, and I believe it's sincere. And the thing is, they went in there trying to sit there and have my videos taken down to cover it up or whatever offline. That's what I initially came here for, because somebody lied to APS or whatever and sat there and told him a video with him apologizing to me is abuse. And they couldn't even perceive what was on the video or nothing, and they attacked me. And then I'm like, okay, I don't, there's nothing in their video that's a wrong, or that I did any wrong or anything like that or whatever. And he basically wanted to do the video because, I don't know, I'm thinking it was like like he just got like his life like flashed before his eyes or something like that. Like it was just like, he apologized to me. He's never apologized to me in all these years. And he apologized, and I told him, okay, if I could put that on video, I thought it was sweet, because you don't understand, like, he doesn't apologize. And the thing is, he was in a vulnerable, like, condition and things like that or whatever, and they did this to him, and they flipped it backwards and scapegoating things, and, like, sitting there like, oh, well, he's vulnerable. Yeah, that's my word, and they're sitting there using those words because of William Clay, by the way. Because William Clay made fun of me speaking and defending like vulnerable people like many years ago when I was in their church, in the Nazarene Raymond Church, formerly known as Vineland First Church of Nazarene, and he was making fun of like, God wants us to be vulnerable, when I was sitting there defending like people like that have like, you know, serious brain injury. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know if you were on the phone or not, so.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's just that, I mean, this is, look, I mean, I've said this before, I know I said this before, but, I mean, it's just repeating over and over in my head, because I'm traumatized by it. I mean, to sit there and have somebody, like, helpless like this, it's just, I mean, it's in my mind, because that's what I do. I mean, that's how I even met him in the first place. Yeah, okay, it got me into trouble, but, I can't help. I'm not gonna change like who I am because people have done damage to me or whatever. But that's how I met him, because he would have me like, he wanted me to go see like this woman who had no legs in a wheelchair, and like take care, like, you know, look out after her like during the day or whatever. My work, and he did that because I was like, I had other people. It was a strange thing. I guess they liked how I talked to elderly people when people were mentally ill and stuff, and they would have me like talk to their grandparents or whatever. There's like 1, 2, 3 of them did that or whatever. And as I was babysitting for basically everybody. Not everybody as everybody, but like, whatever. But the thing is, it's just that, so I think I got that because, I used to, like, when I was in a private school, right, we would go to the nursing home to visit the elderly people, right? And it's just like something that I know about or whatever. But this is completely a different experience when you personally experience it, when you're in the middle of, somebody just like, delivering trees and going to work, and all of a sudden you're speaking to him and he's not even functionable. And he can't take care of himself at all. Like, he has to be, like, changed and everything else like that or whatever. And he had to eat puree food. I'm told that he's on whole food now, but it's just been like that in, I guess, the last few weeks. But I had to puree his food and everything or whatever. But I had to deal with, like all kinds of stuff, and it's just, it keeps playing over and over in my head. I keep saying it. I'm not trying to repeat myself to every officer or whatever, but I just want people to understand, like, the situation, like, that's going on, and to sit there and people are still using people to sit there and do this to him. I just want them to see, like, does anybody have any compassion or anything for people who are basically in a state of mind like this? I want people to see that, like, they're in there humiliating him and abusing him. This has nothing to do with whoever he was or whatever he did before that was, like, right or wrong or whatever. Right now, like, this is cruel. And, people are continuously playing games, like, all the time and just laughing at me and harassing me and then using, like, whatever, like, I'm connected to or whatever the case may be, and just use it to hurt me as long as it's hurting me. Or I'm going to say harm. I sit there and hurt people with the truth or whatever, what is right or whatever, and people are hurt by that, but they're not harmed by me ever. I've never harmed anybody. I've never done these things to people. I've never taken advantage of people's weaknesses and things like that or whatever. And people want to laugh at me and make jokes out of it. They don't think it's important. They cover it up. And, like, nobody's ever used laws of justice against me ever about anything. I don't understand why it is so hard for people to sit there and use true justice and true laws of justice. They've been doing these things to me for, like, 25 years. A Vineland Police Department. And the thing is, it's just like, it doesn't matter. It's just like they're just going to use everything that tortures me. And whoever the head ringleader is, all this, and using all these cops to do these things to me all the time, nobody's doing anything about it. Hello?
Yeah. So what would you like me to do?
My main complaint last night was for harassment, for Huntsberger harassing me and my husband. Excuse me, I have an eye itch. And the thing is, I'm his only, like, defender for anything. I'm the only one. I had to call the hospital a number of times and then provoking nurses to harass my husband, hang up on me, lie about me in court, and made up a lie and sat there and said my husband didn't want to talk to me, which is not true. To sit there and cover it up, that was a lie by a nurse who was harassing me and my husband, which they're being provoked to do. And the thing is, I've been harassed in the hospital before a number of times and refused medical treatment or whatever to make sure that I didn't get medical treatment, being harassed by police, corrupt police, provoking nurses to harass me and refuse me medical treatment. So, this is continual that, these nurses who are basically, the mentally disturbed ones, I'm sitting there called mentally disturbed or whatever, and all these other things bullied and made fun of for being a victim and reporting crime or whatever, and then they're using mentally unstable psychopaths to sit there and abuse people who are basically, need, like, medical services or, nursing care, whatever the case may be, physician care or whatever, and refusing us. And then you can actually use people to sit there and harass and slander us and basically do these things. I've been harassed by doctors, police using doctors to refuse me treatment for years, putting me on a flag list by calling me an EDP because then you want to stigmatize people who are crying and in pain and suffering. for being a victim of abuse or an injury or whatever the case may be. I have like 5 fractured bones in my body. Yes, I keep saying this or whatever, but how can sit there and people continue to do this over and over and over and over throughout the years and nobody do anything? I live in chronic pain because I'm refused medical treatment. Okay, and then they sit there while they're abusing me, calling me mentally ill or whatever, while I'm sitting there and I never got treatment for all my fractured bones. Well, one of them I didn't go to the hospital for or whatever. But that was my nose. But the thing is, as like all the other ones I did, and I was refused medical treatment, so police could sit there and cover it up and do these things, obstruct justice, falsify reports, and all these things or whatever. And it's just like, and then I'm just like, just treated like garbage, and now I'm looking at it being done to my husband. And the thing is, it's like, okay, well, right now, yeah, he has a mental illness. Okay, and people are confusing the language of what that is, by the way, and it's not basically has nothing to do like something like with anorexia or whatever the case may be. A mental illness is basically brain damage or brain impairment or something like that, or whatever the case may be. That has something to do with mental disorder, like a psychopathy or whatever, and like, the Psychiatric Association is just delusional, just nonsense bull. It's like, I've basically had somebody deemed as, I don't believe in that. I said it wrong in court because I basically accidentally said it wrong, unfortunately, in court, because I basically explained to them, like, I had a schizophrenia, like, live with me. The thing is, it's not schizophrenia. It's a neurological brain injury. And they're basically not being treated right or getting proper medical attention or whatever because for a brain injury by a neurologist. They're basically just in a prison of the delusional cult of the Psychiatric Association. Like, my husband, if he was not properly medically diagnosed, he probably would have been and ignored. He probably would have diagnosed falsely as a schizophrenic. It's not even a real word, by the way. And it's not a medical term. And the thing is, it's just that it basically, like I said, it happens like if people are halfway blind or whatever caused by brain injury where it's natural, where your brain will fill in the missing part that cannot be identified. That's what's happening, by the way, when that happens. So it can be very temporary unless you're not treated for medically, if you will. Like for stroke patients or whatever, like it's actually the same brain injury for all of them or whatever that does that. It's temporary and they can be healed from it. But not if they don't get the proper therapy, which is he's being denied right now. Hello?
Yep, I'm here.
So the thing is my report is basically my husband being harassed by Huntsberger, which she's willfully on her own, just being like just nasty and abusive. She was to me. She's sitting there, spoke against what I said, like back to her because I called her back and to make sure it's on recording so she can save it. And I left a message on her voicemail after she like abused me and made some like dirty statement. What do you want with him for? This is how she talked to me. And she was the one that was degrading, and because I basically, told her how evil she was, she sat there and told my husband last night actually that I speak degrading to her so she can't talk to me. No, that was her first. And like I just wrote on my page or whatever, I cannot degrade evil people. You are just that low. I can't put you down any lower. You do that to yourself. I just describe it. So I don't ever degrade people. I'm just descriptive of people being in a degraded position all by themselves. So that's my original work, by the way. So the thing is, it's just that, no, so describing your evil, that's not me degrading anybody. So, I mean, I think I went off on you before, about me going off on other officers. All I was descriptive about how evil they are. And they have to be doing me a wrong and really, really wrong and basically committing crimes against me and mind raping me or whatever with their lies and gaslighting and everything else like that and harassment and mental abuse. So, I don't go off on anybody unless they're abusing me. So, I'm always a kind person, and yeah, I'm in my kindness too. Also, when I'm basically ripping somebody's soul apart for basically violating my good conscience and psychologically torturing me. So, the thing is, it's just that, yeah, I'm just really descriptive about your evil, and that's how evil people, look, I describe it to a T, and I basically want to make you see how evil you are if you're sitting there doing evil against me. So, she's sitting there playing victim and stuff, and she's not the victim. So, I said some, well, pretty harsh things. And, but she made me feel dirty or whatever and things like that. So I just made her feel as foul as she is. And I basically said, you're not his wife. I said, you're like a nasty little evil witch trying to squeeze in and play mistress or whatever to my husband and stuff or whatever, dictating our marriage. So, and I said other harsher things than that or whatever. So, I'm not going to be descriptive about it, okay? So, and that was response to her abusing and harassing me. And basically, obstructing justice and refusing evidence, and me basically giving her evidence against her lies in court or whatever that she's doing. But she's going around slandering me. Oh, but she's allowed to have guardianship over my husband by slanders and terrorist attacks against me. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to make a report on. Also, I basically wanted to make a report, criminal terroristic threats spoken by the Chestnut Assembly, by the way, of not God, Ralph Snook or whatever. And they're literally making terroristic threats or whatever to Vineland, claiming that they're going to take over the land or whatever and declaring war and stuff. And it's a legitimate, crime, what they're doing. So, yeah. I already wrote about that on my police page, by the way, but yeah, they have threatened terrorism, and they should be put under notice of basically being a gang. So that's like territorial takeover, and it's basically gang principles. Interesting, because years ago I basically did compare these churches to gangs. I say, you ain't no different than a gang. Just because you put on a little flowery dress or whatever in a suit and you ain't shooting up the neighborhood doesn't mean you ain't killing society. So, whatever. But yeah, so they literally said they're going to take over the land of Vineland and all these other things or whatever, and it's like, because God anointed me basically against you people, and I've been exposing you people, but they're going to sit there and keep scamming people, and they're scamming people out of money too, so whatever. That's another complaint report against terroristic crimes in our neighborhood.
Okay, I got you. Mm-hmm.
That was Chestnut Assembly.
Chestnut Assembly? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you want to sit there and say, more harassment, just like the other officers, yeah. And William Clay sitting there threatening me in court admitted it in front of Judge Latch Guevara. And last time I admitted, I basically said that to an officer or whatever. Those are the racists that are attacking me, that are doing that to me. First of all, I don't lie. I'm an honest person.
William Clay.
William Clay, the Vineland First Church of Nazarene, who committed hate crimes against me, which became your chaplain in your police department and sworn in your police department to cover up him committing hate crimes against me. Their church basically went into the court, lied about me, did all these things. I was their victim of abuse, by the way, of their cult abuse and harassment and threats or whatever for a number of years or whatever. I was excommunicated out of there and harassed and bullied because I did not believe in the lie that Jesus is God and God is three people and God can die. Yeah, see, there you go again. So, yeah, okay, I only tell the truth. So that's exactly why they excommunicated me. So they went into the court and sat there and slandered me, and then even had a witness that I never even seen or encountered ever. I never even seen this person. I even asked the lawyer, I'm like, who's that? So you can sit there and do whatever you want, because I do have a transcript where it sits there and has changed the name of a lawyer, by the way, from Hoffman, who was their lawyer, to Duffy, and that sat there and said between, like, in a transcript between the judge and this bogus Duffy who wasn't there, and sat there and said, let us rattle off some numbers to make sure you and I agree. So, and the judge actually made sure I actually got this bogus transcript or whatever, and sat there and told my husband not to, to get out of jail, he had to get this transcript, which was not even true, lawful, or anything like that. Nobody needed this transcript or whatever, but they did that to him just to get the transcript so I could sit there and see this, like, warped transcript that basically changed names, had this bribery between the lawyer and the judge on it, and basically changed words or whatever. Even basically when I sat there and said, where'd you get this guy? Because the lawyer, the other Hoffman, it was Daniel and Michael Hoffman, father and son. It was very strange also because it was a prosecutor and the so-called defender lawyer or whatever in the municipal court, and like they were father and son, and the father of the son basically was on their side, and then the son was like, well, not defending me. He was actually trying to control me not being able to make a defense, and automatically, even before he spoke with me, sat there and told me, oh, well, we're going to take a plea deal. I said, you haven't even spoken to me yet. So, and trying to sit there and control the case and do what you people do, sitting there trying to control everything or whatever, and make sure I didn't sit there and give evidence or whatever. And then he goes before the judge or whatever, sits there and says, oh, well, she's an idealist. I'm like, what? And I even asked the judge, I said, can I do this? Because this guy was very stupid. Okay, so it was just like I couldn't even believe. I didn't even know I was even that intelligent to sit there and be more intelligent than a lawyer or whatever. But I'm sitting there. That's when I started like teaching like law by principles. I wasn't even like book learned or anything or whatever. But I knew principles because I'm a theologian or whatever. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, look, this is very strange. And and that's that with those people, the Vineland Nazarene Church, by the way, is when I basically got knocked.
You still there?
Yes.
Oh.
So you're ignoring me. Are you going to act like Landy, right? You're going to act like Lieutenant Landy, right?
You cut off. I thought you hung up on me.
You're full of it. You say they're playing games from last night. This is all you people do is sit there and harass me all the time.
No, I swear you were cutting off. I didn't know if you hung up or what.
No, you're lying.
Okay, go ahead.
You're the one lying, going, to me. You're going to sit there and laugh at me. You think this is a joke, and this is what you do. Yeah. And these are serious, heinous crimes, and this is people's pain, and you're going to just sit there and mock and harass me. Mm-hmm. Wow, you're sick. You're sick. You're sick. Manipulating little child molester, don't you? Yep, y'all sitting and cookie cutter little child molesters and child molester submitters. Sitting there attacking anybody who's a victim, right? Because you're a cult. That's all you are is a cult. You ain't no law enforcement. You're disgusting and disgraceful thing. You sit there and act like you people are so immature and degenerate and debased-minded. It's disgusting.
Teresa, let me ask you one question now.
Are you going to accuse all that of being cussing like the other officers?
Teresa, hold on. Let me ask you a serious question.
I've been speaking seriously. You haven't been serious once.
No, listen, it's a serious question. Why, if you hate us so much, why do you call?
Excuse me, first of all, I don't hate anybody. I've never expressed any hate. Why don't you learn what hate is? Because you're the one sitting there with your deception and lies. First of all, I only speak the truth, okay? And the only thing I have done ever is sit there. This is the games that you all play. Oh, you hate us. You hate us. Because I'm speaking against crime and speaking against your wrong. That's immature. You people need to grow up. To hate you? I'm speaking against your mind and your evil. I mean, your debased mind and your evil, and basically mocking me and harassing me. That's hate. That's hate. That what kind of what? I mean, what? And the base, I guess that coming from basically a wrongful hate, I guess you're expressing, should I say. Look, love hates evil. Love hates crime, okay? Law hates crime. You don't get it. Law hates crime. Okay? So, the thing is, it's just that I always stand on the truth and the laws of justice, by the way. And while you're playing your little games, and you're the one sitting there, look, this is the thing. An evil hate is somebody who lies. I don't lie. I'm not deceptive. I don't manipulate. I don't do the things you people do. Why do you people with an evil hate me so much? Why do you with an unlawful evil hate me so much for being right? That's the question. Look, the thing is, It's just that you are the people that committed crimes against me. I've never committed crimes against you people. Okay? Why do you hate law? Why do you hate what is right? Why do you hate truth? Okay? Because the only thing I basically being attacked for is speaking truth. I'm being mistreated all the time by you people, all the time for 25 years. I've been treated like this for 25 years. I'm an honest person. I'm a righteous person. So, and you're sitting there and you're attacking law enforcement while you're committing crimes against me. If I'm sitting there speaking truth and speaking laws of justice and speaking against crime, okay, that's you hating law enforcement. That's you in the place of being a criminal attacking law enforcement. You speak against yourself. That's hypocrisy. Hello?
Yeah, why do you hate us so much, Teresa?
I've only spoken truth to you. I've only spoken truth to all of you. Do you understand what that is? I've only spoken truth to you. How is that, like, I'm going to sit there and say evil hate, like love hates evil. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean.
Feelings when you do that.
What's that?
You hate us so much, it hurts our feelings.
No, wait, what feelings? You're psychopaths. You've only expressed, not all of you, but many of you, most of you, have expressed yourself to be psychopathic. That's all you've actually expressed. That's it.
That is not nice.
And, like, I mean, you're basically expressing a psychopathy now, laughing and mocking at me when I sat there and expressing basically an extreme suffering and basically heinous crimes. And you're sitting there laughing at me. This is most of what you police officers have ever done. Okay. Refusing me rights, sitting there hanging up on me, laughing at me, bullying me, doing all these things or whatever, committing crimes against me. Have I ever committed a crime against you people? No, I have not.
I didn't hang up.
Love hates evil. Look, this is the thing. I have only expressed holy love to law enforcement and even to my enemies. This is what you people don't understand, what loving your enemies is. Loving your enemies is standing in the truth. Truth and love is the same meaning. It's true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
You call us bad names and everything.
I degenerate while you're sitting there. No, I judged you righteously. I judge you with the righteous truth. Bad names. Oh, yeah. Just like Jesus when he judged with the righteous truth and called people brood of vipers, swine, who were evil, liars, hypocrites. Yeah, and your officers sat there going around, you're name calling, because I'm sitting there speaking against their abuse and crimes. Okay, and it's because I'm calling you basically, well, a psychopath or whatever. Yes, you're basically most of your officers have expressed only basically a psychopathy. You have never used laws of justice against me, none of you. You have falsely accused me and put a law on me and falsely accused me of breaking the law and slandered me committing crimes against me. I have been in jails a number of times for police committing crimes against me. I've been in jails for churches committing crimes against me and basically flipping things backwards. I've never committed a crime. I've never done wrong. A wrong, it would be something that is false. I've never sat there and falsely accused any officer. I didn't bear false witness against an officer. I didn't threaten to kill an officer like officers did to me. I had 3 officers already threaten to kill me, whereas I actually reported to Officer Landy and the prosecutor's officers of the death threats by police. So, and they covered it up.
Who?
The prosecutors, when the courts or whatever, when I called the courts or whatever and spoke to detectives or whatever, I know specifically the prosecutor's offices, but in the courts or whatever, one of them was Noel. I can't remember all the names of them or whatever. It was a number of years ago. They did the exact same thing police did. They hung up on me. Okay. Exactly what you police are doing. This is how they treated me. So the thing is, that was Timothy Knights that threatened to kill me. That was Officer McKeon that threatened to kill me, and Officer Vi that threatened to kill me. So passive-aggressively by Officer Vi, a response by McKeon, And
Put you on hold. There's another call. Hold on. Put you on hold.
okay. I need water. Shoot, I don't have any more water. I'll my baby cheek.
I'm back. You there?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, when you're sitting there mimicking other people going, that started in this thing where police and Jennifer Webber Gray prosecutors colluded together to, at the last minute, prop up this event at the park or whatever, claiming it was of domestic violence or whatever, and use your chief, your present chief now, to speak, which they didn't show that part or whatever, and sat there saying it was for victims of domestic violence while they were sitting there wearing green and stuff like that, and basically to sit there and mock and ridicule a situation, calling victims of domestic violence mentally ill, which is the harassment that you people police have been doing to victims of domestic violence for years. Controlling evidence, even cutting us off, asking questions to interrupt, to ask other questions or whatever, and do all these things so we don't just sit there and just control victims of domestic violence from basically, while speaking, while presenting evidence of basically what happened or whatever, to manipulate and obstruct justice. So the judge has been copying that, by the way. The judge Tesla did that, and he harassed me or whatever when I went to bring evidence and said, well, it's on body camera when I was there for being a victim of domestic violence to get a restraining order. And he was doing the exact same thing cops were doing, and sitting there asking questions to control me saying anything, and then switching to one thing to another. And then I couldn't answer or explain it. And then he sat there and slandered me, said, oh, she's all over the place. You're mentally ill. When he's sitting there, wouldn't let me sit there finish my statements. So they know, I don't know if they're sitting there and know what you people are doing. And they're sitting there like doing what you're doing to sit there and obstruct justice and basically refuse our rights and abuse us and slander us. Or basically, to let people know that they know what's going on. So I just want you to know they know what's going on. And so I'm not going to keep silent about it or whatever, because, sit there like, oh, who's trying to set who up or whatever the case may be or whatever. But I'm just an open person, and I'm going to let everybody know or whatever, because in the end, everybody covers everything up, and we're screwed in the end anyway, because that's how it's always been. Why everybody sit there trying to do these bogus, investigations and acting like how people respond to things and mimicking things and replaying past events and all these other things is just continued repeated harassment, because you people have been doing this to me for years, on a weekly basis, by the way. On a weekly basis. I mean, I basically encountered cops more times than I ever expected to encounter cops in my life, and too many number of cops. And who basically instigated this all in the first place, and why was it happening, and why am I basically, I know you people are attacking other victims of domestic violence. Why are people mainly attacking me, and why do I know more than probably 40 to 50 cops when I have never committed a crime? Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You put your phone down. Yeah, you need to stop harassing me doing that.
What?
See that? So all they do is mock victims of domestic violence.
You talk for 46 minutes now. We're doing other work. Okay?
Yeah, mocking me. Work? Yeah, this is a manipulation that you people do. We're doing other work or whatever, and you're always claiming, and that's why your officers went into court and slandered me or whatever, and you're like, oh, well, we were busy. We were busy. Sitting there downplaying and claiming that basically being a victim of domestic violence is not a crime. This is what you people do. It's like, oh, it's no big deal. This is what you police have said to me.
How many people actually let you talk for 46 minutes?
You didn't even listen to anything I said. You had the phone down.
Did they hang up on you?
You had a phone down, just like Landy, just like your Lieutenant Landy, who mocks me and laughs at me.
Did they hang up on you?
And then you go, I'm an honest person. I'm only being persecuted because I'm a righteous person.
Why are you crying? We haven't done anything to make you cry.
You're bullshit. You're a liar.
Well, you can hang up at any time.
Oh, why are you going to sit there? Why don't you act like the Nazarene Church and said, oh, you're name calling. Your name calling while you're sitting there lying? And I sit there and call you a liar. Oh, those are death words. You can sit there and sound like the little NAMI, violent Nazarene Raven Church or whatever going around because I'm basically speaking against their abusive lying. That's destroying lives. And then they're going around sitting there. Those are death words. You're calling us a liar while they're pathologically lying. Those are death words. Like some kind of freak or something. That's a mental disorder. They sit there and call me mentally ill for being a victim of domestic violence and them abusing me and harassing me or whatever. And that's their psychopathy. And I'm glad William Clay made it out to be like some kind of crazy mental institution with a bunch of idiots or whatever that he did. And he's evil. He's an anti-theist, atheist, and he sits there and mocks them all. And you know what? Because they know what he did to me, but he was in part of it or whatever, acting like he was doing something, but he couldn't open his mouth. And he knows basically, he knows the truth, and he basically could have, been a witness to stop all this, but he's too busy basically puppet mastering people and basically mocking people, even ignorant people who don't even know any better. Can't teach them the truth, then sit there and convict them. He can't even convict people. He thinks it's conviction. It ain't conviction. He just uses principles or whatever. He can't even discern them properly. He thinks has a spirit of discernment. And I sat there and sold him. I say, well, you know what? If you basically believe that you have this special gift of spiritual discernment, then you're not discerning, because we are all to grow in discernment. So, but that's his own ignorance and his false little cult, like stupid antichrist teachings. Because he can't discern anything except there's a little bit, just enough to sit there and manipulate people or whatever. And can't even bring a true judgment about anything. Just destroys lives. He threatened to destroy my life in court. So, and that's when your officer, when I sat there and said, William Clay threatened me and admitted it in court or whatever, or I threatened to destroy my life. And they're like, and then it's just like, he admitted it in court in front of Judge Lacavera. So, whatever. They want to play their little games? Whatever. I'm an honest person. I don't lie like you people. Okay? You're sitting there scapegoating me. And I'm the righteous, honest person, and you people are not. You think it's so funny? You act so degenerate and immature, like, I don't know, like immature freaking college students, maybe. I don't know. Seniors or frat house idiots or whatever. Whatever, and your whatever, hazing and all this other stuff, and your moronic freaking stupid things or whatever. This is what you people act like. Hello?
Hello?
Had the phone down again?
No, it's on. I'm listening to you. I fell asleep for a minute.
Well, and you know what? It's really sick. What you people do, and you're sitting there acting like you're law enforcement. You're just like a Catholic who basically rapes children and basically imprisons and brainwashes women and imprisons them in their little convents or whatever, and uses them for personal little freaking whores or whatever. You're no different than they are. Catholics, now they sit there and pretend to be Christian while they're persecuting Christians and brainwashing everybody and silencing everybody so nobody finds out what they are, while they go around slandering Jesus Christ and God. So sitting there convincing people that their slanders against God and Jesus Christ are of God and Jesus Christ. So as they basically through the years raped women and children and slaughtered Christians or whatever and things like that, and getting people to sit there believe that they're Christians while they sit there and go around getting them to slander God all the time. So same thing, same principles. So you're sitting there in a uniform or whatever, pretending you're law enforcement, and you're not law enforcement. So you just degenerate savages. That's all you are. So it's really, really disgusting. You know what? It basically just leaves you left as a degenerate. Like, that's your mentality. That's your immaturity. That's your mental disorder and your psychopathic mental disorder. And sitting there calling your victims like a child molester Catholic clergy, sitting there branding all their rape victims or whatever as mentally ill so nobody hears them. That's the same thing you people do. You basically are like cookie cutter child molesting Catholic rapists. That's all you are. So you want to sit there and play your little games? That's really disgusting that we're not allowed to have a law enforcement department, and that you're refusing people law enforcement services while you're sitting there pretending you're law enforcement. And you actually think you deserve a big paycheck too for basically being a jerk. What? What?
What? What do you mean, what?
I was talking. I thought you said something when I was talking, or that was the radio.
The radio.
So, yeah, you want to play these games. So I guess you're refusing my complaint against harassment by Huntsberger. You think it's funny, don't you? Yeah, make sure I'm not hurt. You're just like Glenn Green. That's all you are. making sure Teresa isn't hurt so he can go around continuously mass molesting children because Teresa told. So we'll just get rid of Teresa, just send her away in a girls' group home or whatever, where they abused me with threats or whatever, and some strict freaking thing with those stupid freaking Baptists or whatever they were, or whatever the case may be. Another degenerate pig swine cult or whatever. So, yeah. So, oh yeah, you know what? Because, Teresa was stupid, I almost called myself stupid by accident. Wasn't stupid enough like, other people my age to sit there and yes, isolated myself, and I was isolated or whatever because, well, you know what? Because I speak against evil. And that's all you are. You're just like Glenn Green sitting there, let's get rid of Teresa and send her away or whatever so they can continue to molest children. You're no different. So, whatever. You don't have a right to sit there and block me from speaking to a moral, religious law enforcement officer or whatever, and you're going to sit there and act like these irreligious, antichrist church cults with the mark of the beast pretending to be religious when they're freaking vile and evil and lawless. You think it's funny? So I have a right to sit there and, I have a right to make a complaint. You don't have a right to sit there and refuse my rights.
What rights do I have?
What's that?
I said, then what rights do I have?
Excuse me, what rights do you have? Me to tell the truth, against you. So, whatever.
Hold on, Teresa, hold on. Never mind, go ahead.
I never violated your rights, and all you people did was violate my rights, and that's all you have done. So, look, just think, because you know the condition, look, I sit there, I protect and defend the rights of Donald, and you know what? He used to be evil, and you know what? Just think, if you go down and there's no defense for you or whatever, and you sit there and want to destroy me and make sure that I'm not hurt and all this other stuff, just think, because I think that, well, every person has rights, that would only mean anything to justify their rights or whatever, and basically, support those who are weaker or whatever in a weaker state. Just think, I would sit there and defend your rights, by the way, if your rights are violated. So remember me, because like if anybody sits there and retaliates against you and you're actually innocent at the time, I mean, it's really sad. I actually really think it's very sad that you're not retaliated against by law against your crimes. You only sit there and attack innocent, righteous women who basically, well, don't commit crimes, don't do wrong or whatever, and you sit there and refuse our rights. So that's really, really sad. Don't you think? You think you're so big and tough sitting there bullying on a woman and basically mocking me and bullying me and harassing me when I'm sitting there redressing my grievances, by the way, but you're actually refusing. So, it's really sickening. You're an immoral degenerate. And you know what? Immoral liars, degenerates like you know what? You shouldn't even be considered basically equal to a human being, and you're a worthless being. Liars go to hell. That's a fact. Don't believe in hell all you want. It doesn't make it not there, because it's there. So, it doesn't matter. You sit there and claim, if you're an anti-theist, atheist, because you don't believe in hell and hell doesn't exist. And no, it's not me threatening you. I can't threaten anybody with hell. People walk into hell by themselves by being evil, but such as you are. So only the righteous go to heaven. And you know what? I'm of the kingdom of God. You know why? Because I'm righteous. Unlike your evil churches that you falsely sit there and get them to say that they're basically of the kingdom of God and they're not. So I'm worthy to be basically of the kingdom of God, but you know what? You people are going to hell, and that's the reality. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna persecute me, commit hate crimes against me, imprison me for being the righteous one and being a victim. Just remember, you people, there's a prison, an eternal prison for you people. And the thing is, you pull on the evils of hell while you're walking on this earth and bring it into this earth, basically by committing evil against people. You will always live in evil for eternity. So just remember that. You just put your phone down again so you ignore me? Have you hung up yet?
I'm printing something. Hold on. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I think it's a joke. I was harassed by 3 other officers. You always think it's funny to sit there and harass me. And you sit there and get people to harass my husband. It's really disturbing. Getting Huntsberg to sit there and copy my words disturbing and deter and flip things backwards or whatever to get there to basically harass me, to sit there and flip things backwards. Oh, because I spoke law against degeneracy? She's another child molester submitter. That's why she's so easily used by you all. And that's why you attack me. You know what? That's why your chaplains and all these people you use to harass me, because they're degenerates and they're easy to use. These dummies and liars and degenerates is easy to use by evil people. This is why you attack me. This is why you attack me. Because you can't use me to do evil. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, I'm here.
That's really shallow of you that you live that way and walk around in life and you think you're worth something. It's really sad. You're a coward. You're nothing but a coward little punk. That's all you are. So that's the disgrace to you. You're the one disgraceful. So you want to sit there? I mean, that just makes you a disgusting person. You're doing that to yourself. I'm not doing that. I'm just being descriptive of it. You need to learn how to be a man, a real man, instead of basically respect law enforcement and people's rights, which you're violating my rights, which you always have done. So it's really sad that you're basically not even a half of a fraction of a man. So that's sad. I bet, you know what? You do this to your wife? Do you abuse your wife? Huh?
Yeah, why are you calling me all those names? Why do you hate me so much?
It's the truth. It's true righteous judgment.
Why
So,
do you hate me?
hate is you lying about me. Unjust hate is you lying about me. Your unjust, evil hate is your lies, refusing my rights. This is how you police are treating me. You people are using crime. I'm using righteous judgment, and I'm using law. Laws of justice. Like, I'm sorry, if I was a criminal, I would deserve to be treated like that. Like you people are treating me, but I'm not. You're attacking me because I'm a good, righteous, lawful person and laws of justice. Evil people don't understand justice. This is why you can't understand justice and you have no respect for justice. Why do you hate law enforcement? Why do you hate law enforcement?
You need a hobby.
Why do you hate law enforcement?
You need a hobby.
Describe hobby.
What?
Describe hobby.
A hobby. You need a hobby. You gotta make some friends or something.
I only can be friends with the righteous.
Yeah, there's not many of them out there.
Yeah, I am one of them. And that's right, there isn't. And I don't care if I'm alone or whatever. I mean, I have God, you don't.
I got God. I go to church every Sunday.
Oh, you mean the churches that are of the mark of the beast and of the Antichrist that go around slandering God?
What church do you go to?
I am the church.
Oh, you are? Oh, you don't actually go to a church.
If people are Christian and of God, we don't go to church, we are the church.
Oh, you are the church.
I am the church. This is why all the churches actually describe church falsely and don't know what church is, and why you go to these man-made churches every Sunday and you don't even know what the church is.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
So that's the reality. None of you even know Jesus. You don't know God. You don't know any. I prove God exists. I proved all the churches to be false.
Right.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, and you're going around sitting there claiming that God is three people and Jesus is God and God can die. That's your false God. And you're not even talking about God nor Jesus.
That's what the Bible says.
No, it does not. Our Bible does not say any such thing. Nowhere in the Bible you will find any such evil, blasphemous lie. You think God can die? Do you believe that God can die? Then you worship a false God, and it's not even Jesus. Jesus could have went to hell.
Maybe.
That's a fact. He was tempted in Matthew chapter 4. He was tempted to see if he would reject the kingdom of God for the kingdom of the world is why he was tempted. If he basically accepted the kingdom of the world offered to him, Jesus would have went to hell. Jesus is not God. Okay, so the fact is, and while they're all going around, and your chaplains even went around sitting there claiming that God sent his son to die on the cross, so they could be forgiven and saved. No, God did not. Or basically, and also said that God killed his own son. No, he did not. It was known about it was going to happen.
Ask you a question.
Yes.
Why do you call the police department every day?
First of all, I don't call the police department every day. And why do you people commit crimes against me almost every day? I've only called the police to report a crime.
What's the crime?
I've only called the police to report a crime.
Yeah,
and I don't call the police every day. Why do you people harass me and terrorize me, your police, almost every day for 25 years? 25 years.
You call us. We don't come to your house.
Because I'm reporting a crime.
What's the crime?
I already told you.
Tell me again.
Tell you again. You people are sitting there using Huntsberger to harass my husband and slander me. Okay, and basically spread your slander continue like you use other people or whatever, and getting them to slander me to hospital personnel or whatever, and harassing my husband and humiliating him or whatever, and doing all these things and falsifying information to my husband. So the thing is, it's just that he's in the hospital because you people harass and terrorize me, kidnap my husband, falsely accusing me of having guns in the house, sitting there making up all kinds of things and false reports or whatever to sit there and cover up, because you people police were afraid that he would confess to basically knowing the terroristic crimes that you people committed against me. That's all you people are worried about. That's it, covering up your hate crimes. And the hate crimes that was done to me a couple of years ago, that's still in courts, by the way, when your officers sat there and falsified a report on me, and which I proved wrong against itself within the report or whatever, which you people used to slander me because I reported hate crimes being committed against me for my religion. Okay? And so you people sat there and flipped it backwards and to slander me in the report, you atheists and your fraudulent Pentecostals and Antichrist Churchians or whatever, flipped it backwards and sat there and said I made a complaint against religion, which I did not. I'm a very religious person, and that's why basically I am being persecuted and hate crimes being committed against me. And because I'm a theological genius, by the way. I write thousands and thousands of passages of Bible commentary against all the church's false doctrines, exposing them to be false. I'm being persecuted because I prove God exists and all the churches to be wrong. By God's authority and God identifying me or whatever, that I am of God and none of you are. So the thing is, it's just that I also am a credible witness, by the way, of basically child sexual abuse when I was a child or whatever, in which I was basically locked up or whatever in a group home or whatever, so they can continue molesting children, and police covered it up or whatever because I was a prime credible witness. Where I continue to be persecuted by that cult. So, and like by Glenn Green and Russell Pullen. And Harold Heaton and John Green. Hello?
Who's John Green? You say Jay Green?
John Green is the son of Glenn Green. I was not molested, but he made several attempts to me or whatever, and I just moved away from them like I always move away from men, won't let men touch me. Yeah, I had to learn that since I was a child. So I didn't get molested or whatever, but I was a prime witness. I tried to get help for my sister and other children or whatever, and basically I was silenced just like you churches and you police sit there and still try to silence me and refuse my rights and refuse me to be heard. So they mass molested children who they human trafficked through their foster system, and they had foster children or whatever, they sexually abused or whatever, and basically I tried to get help throughout the years or whatever, and I was eventually abandoned by deceit, basically into a Tennessee group home or whatever for girls. From a church or whatever, and they tried to cover it up, and they went around telling people I was retarded or whatever, so people wouldn't hear me. People do the exact same thing. So I'm actually highly intelligent, by the way, and I was then also. I didn't have some curricular knowledge or whatever, but circumstantial knowledge or whatever. But I had a principle, and I know what was evil or whatever. And so yeah, I'm not gonna apologize. I mean, I was isolated, and I isolated myself because I wouldn't I told. So I was like a threat to basically perverts or whatever because I speak out. I continue to do this and be in this defense mode for the rest of my entire life and fight against child sexual abuse. I have a lot of writings on my police page and on my Facebook main page or whatever against brainwashing, cult abuse, and how they basically silence victims or whatever, and which your police and former chief Codispoti and the other churchian cult members were used to basically brainwash and groom children or whatever of the false doctrines of no gossiping, no judging, no finding fault, no complaining, and all these other things, no criticizing, which are all used to basically silence sexually abused children and basically get people to attack people if they actually do any of these things or whatever to silence them as they brainwash everybody else around them. I discovered how they do that or whatever, and there are my original works and writings as I actually continue to investigate churches and brainwashing, and I write against it, and I have thousands of writings on it. So yeah, that's my work, by the way. And so the thing is, you think this is all funny or whatever. You're just sitting there in your police department and your little child sex trafficking ring and prostitution ring in your police department with Chief Codispoti, your former Chief Codispoti or whatever, sat there and used churches or whatever to continue to reinforce these rules and laws deliberately, knowingly, making sure they brainwash these children to echo these rules that they use that silences victims. So that's my original work, by the way, and expose it. That's why I'm being targeted, and police are being lied to sit there and get them to target me and silence me and create a false record for me and refuse my rights. Because I've been doing this for years, by the way, and I endured a lot of abuse by police and churches, by the way. So I investigated about 30 churches, some on the outskirts, a few on the outskirts, and a couple from my childhood or whatever is on the list. But I basically investigated an estimate of 30 churches in Vineland or whatever, and observing what they teach and how they're influencing society. And the majority of the churches teach the child molesting rules was actually also against Christianity and against the Holy Spirit of God. That basically the Holy Spirit brings judgment, complaints, finding fault, and criticizing against basically these evil leaders, which I expose. And this is why you're all brainwashed, by the way, to sit there and attack me and silence me and mock me and do all these things, and you think these things are funny. This is only about me. This is all about all the victims that I carry with me and all their pain and suffering, by the way. I'm being attacked for being a mystic Christian, by the way. So you sit there and keep laughing. So it's really disturbing that you think you're real men, and you're real men of law enforcement and all these other things, but you're nothing but little punk cowards. So, and while I'm being beaten down, my bones being broken, and all these things or whatever, and refused rights, and people created a false record on me when I've never committed a crime or whatever, and I speak and fight against all this evil and cult abuse or whatever for everybody, and you people are the ones, these cowards in your police department are the ones sitting there silencing me, and you have done nothing to sit there to stand up for any of these things. You're just making every effort to make sure I'm not heard, just like Glenn Green, Russell Pullen, or whatever. And John Green is their son or whatever, who basically made several attempts on me, but I moved away from him or whatever. I was not molested by him, but he made attempts on me about like maybe 5 to 7 times or something like that. So that's Glenn Green's son. Hello?
Yeah, his son, I know.
My son? No, not you. You don't get, wow. You're sick, you little freak. You're sick. You're a pig. You're a child molesting little perverted little pig. This is all you do, flip things backwards. What do you do? Domestic children? Huh? Is that what you do? You're a child molester? So typical, just like you're the pervert freaking false god of Chief Codispoti you bow down to, right? What do you do? Make a bitch out of you? You little pervert? Yeah, you're nothing but a catamite boy, man. That's all you are. Chief Codispotti's catamite boy. You little perverted little pig. You're a filthy ass pig. You're a pig. You're a pig, man. You're sick. You're nothing but a perverted little child molesting fucking pig. That's all you do. Face my rent because I'm on today. All I'm going to do is call you Glenn Green every time. Oh, that wouldn't bother you. That wouldn't bother you, right? Because you're a pervert. You're a sick freak. So all you people sit there and do is flip things backwards. You're sick. Always protecting child molesters, right? Is all you people do? All you do is protect child molesters, right? Little child molester protectors? Yeah, you like those, don't you, you little fucking little filthy ass pig? What are you, an uncle fucker? Huh? Is that what you are, an uncle fucker? Huh, you little pig? You an uncle fucker? Yeah, you little sick ass. At least I wasn't stupid like little perverted little Vicky who basically submitted a little dirty ass whore. 10-year-old little whore. At least I wasn't dirty like that piece of shit. I actually regret even defending her. I really do. I really do. I should have just freaking ran away and just left her to basically her own freaking little whorish freaking piggish self. Sat there and fought for her for nothing. For nothing. And you know what? And all you people, that's all you are is pigs. That's all you are, you little sick-ass freak. Yeah, no, you ain't nothing but pigs. Nothing but pigs. All you do is protect child molesters. Yeah, what do? Sit there and shove their dick in your mouth when you're 10 years old? Huh? Huh? Like Vicky, you little dirty little whore? Huh, you little pig? Because that's all you are, you little raunchy-ass piece of shit. You're nasty. You're demonic. You're a nasty little pig pervert. And I'm handing flyers out all around Vineland about you and basically telling people that you need to be warned about the child sex trafficking in Vineland Police Department and your little sick-ass freak self. You're sick. You're sickening, man. Well, I'm glad when you're going to go to hell. You're definitely going to get... obviously, God gave you up to a debased mind because you're so freaking evil. That's why you're so degenerate, right, you little uncle fucker? You little sick-ass freak. That's all you do. That's all you do. Submit to child molesters, you little freak. Yeah, I get abused and persecuted because I'm not a whore like you. You're a whore. You're a whore. You're a little uncle fucking whore. That's all you are. You nasty little fucking freak. Yeah, you're nasty. You're a nasty freak. You're nasty. You filthy. You belong on Megan's Law. And I'm putting flyers all over the place, all over Vineland. Sit there and you're in the child sex trafficking ring in the Vineland NJ Police Department. It's really, really sick, you little freak. You little nasty ass, dirty little freak.